Hello and welcome to Daybreak English. Today we will learn about 12 English idioms and phrasal verbs that are useful for work and life. Hi, I'm Dawn. How are you today? I hope you're well. Have you recently started a new job? Have you moved to a new country or area? The idioms and phrasal verbs we will learn today are especially useful for a new work situation. But they can also be used in everyday life. So there's something for everyone here today. You might want to grab a pen and paper so you can make some notes. The first is an idiom that is very commonly used when you first start a job. To learn the ropes or show someone the ropes. In a new role, when you learn the basic tasks, where everything is kept, where the toilets are, where to eat your lunch. Everything you need to know when you first start is to learn the ropes. It could be a job or a voluntary role. Anything that is completely new to you. My friend started volunteering at a city farm in London last year. So she had to learn the ropes. How to care for the animals. What jobs she needed to do, where the feed was kept, and so on. A colleague might offer to show you the ropes. They help you by showing you where things are kept and how things are done. This might take a few weeks while you settle in. Number 2, to settle in. The process of becoming comfortable and familiar with your surroundings is called settling in. In any new situation, this could be a new job, a new school, a new home, or whatever. Someone might ask you after a week or two in a new job, how are you settling in? In a new school, a child might settle in by learning where the classroom and the toilets are, making friends, and getting to know the new routine. Settling into a new home might mean unpacking, exploring the neighborhood, finding out where important places are, and how to get to them. This phrasal verb can be separated by a pronoun. For example, Johnny is very shy in his new school, but his teacher is helping to settle him in. Number 3 is another idiom. To be on a steep learning curve. When you start something new and unfamiliar, and you need to learn many things in a short time, it is called a steep learning curve. Starting a new job is always a steep learning curve, especially if you've not done that kind of work before. Moving to a new country is a steep learning curve. Different culture, different customs, maybe a new language to learn. We use the preposition on with this phrase when talking about a person. For example, he is on a very steep learning curve with his new job. But if we are just talking about the situation, not a person, we don't use on. For example, this job is so difficult. It's a steep learning curve. Next is another idiom. Number 4, to throw someone in the deep end. A swimming pool has a shallow end where you can touch the bottom when you stand up, and a deep end where you can't touch the bottom. If you can't swim well and are thrown in the deep end, it can be quite scary, and you have to learn to swim quickly or you'll drown. This can be what it feels like if you are put into a new situation that is overwhelming. You don't feel qualified or prepared enough for it. You might use this expression to describe a difficult new job, or even becoming a parent for the first time. In this expression, you can put a proper noun or pronoun after the verb throw. For example, my boss has really thrown me in the deep end with this project. I didn't want to throw you in the deep end, but it helped you to learn quickly. Number 5, to hit the ground running. This is an idiom we use for when someone begins a new activity at full speed with great enthusiasm, not wasting any time. Sometimes this implies that the person has done some work or research beforehand to avoid wasting time. Some examples. We have dug the foundations for the building so that we can hit the ground running when construction begins. I'm so excited about my new job and have lots of good ideas. I'm sure I will hit the ground running when I start next week. Number 6, to brush up on. To update or improve your skills. It implies that you already have some skill or knowledge of a subject, but it's been some time since you used that skill. So you're a bit rusty and need to refresh your memory. There might be a computer program that you've used, but you aren't familiar with the newer version, or you just can't remember how to use it. Instead of saying that you can't remember how to do something, it sounds nicer, particularly in a work situation, to say that you just need to brush up on it. It is important to note that this phrasal verb can't be separated by a pronoun. You can't say brush something up on. That just doesn't make sense. It's always brush up on. For example, I need to brush up on that computer program. You haven't spoken English for a while. You might need to brush up on your conversation skills. Number 7, to go through something. When you go through something with someone, you explain to them how it works or give further information. For example, in a document, a lawyer might go through a document he or she has written for you. So they explain what each section means so you can understand it before you sign your name to it. Go through cannot be separated by another word or a pronoun. You could say, let's go through this building proposal together. After the funeral, the lawyer went through the terms of the will. Number 8, to pick something up. Pick up is a phrasal verb that has many different uses. You've probably heard it before. You can pick up an object, pick someone up in your car, etc. But in this case, to pick something up is to learn a new skill. A mechanic might say of an apprentice, "I'm pleased with how quickly my apprentice has picked up how to service a car. So they have learned the job very quickly." An example, "I can't believe how quickly you have picked up the tango. It's such a difficult dance." Number 9, find out. There are 2 meanings for find out. The first is to discover information about something. Some examples. I found out where to go to get my driver's license. Can you find out what color we were supposed to paint this room? The second is to discover someone's dishonesty. Aren't you afraid your boss will find out that you've been leaving work early? Which brings me to number 10, figure out. There are also 2 meanings for figure out. The first is to think about somebody or something until you understand them or it. Here are some examples. We couldn't figure her out. She was nice one minute and nasty the next. I'm trying to figure out a way to make this work. He couldn't figure out how to solve the puzzle. She figured out what to do with her old furniture. She sent it to a charity. Figure out can be separated by a pronoun or demonstrative. So, figure her out, figure it out, figure this out. Secondly, to calculate an amount or the cost of something. Examples: have you figured out how much the trip will cost? Can you figure out the answers to those maths problems? The project manager will figure out what we need for this job. Number 11, to carry on. Again, there are 2 ways to use carry on. The first is to continue. For example, he moved to the city to carry on his work. So he moved to the city to continue his work, or to continue doing something, usually after an interruption. For example, your boss comes in while you're on your lunch break. He asks you to meet up a bit later, but not immediately. He might say, "I need to talk to you about your report. Carry on eating your lunch, and when you finish, come over to my office." You can also say carry on with something. For example, "Sorry for the interruption. Carry on with what you were doing." The second is to talk about something in an angry or excited way. This also gives a sense of continuing. If someone carries on about something, they not only talk about it excitedly or angrily, but they do it for a little too long. "I know I made a mistake, but you don't have to carry on about it. My boss was very upset that I was late, and he really carried on." Which brings me to the last phrasal verb, which appropriately is number 12, to finish up. This is the same as saying finish. It implies that you want the people to stop but you are allowing them to continue just a little longer until they have finished what they're doing. But you do want them to do it quickly. Some examples. Finish up your drinks. I want to close the bar. Okay, children, finish up your artworks. It's time to pack up. Finish up can also be used in the same way as another phrasal verb, end up, to show the end result or a destination. For example, they always finish up doing most of the work. Every year, the Tour de France finishes up in Paris. It might help if I use these terms in a dialogue. The dialogue is between a boss and an employee. Hi Dawn, how's everything going? Are you settling in all right? Yes, it's going well, thanks. It's a steep learning curve, but I'm sure once I learn the ropes, I'll be fine. There is a lot to learn. I'm sorry to throw you in the deep end like that. I've asked Martin to show you the ropes. Is there anything else I can do to help you settle in? I need to brush up on the computer system. It's been a while since I used this one. If you could have someone go through it with me, I'm sure I will pick it up in no time. Okay, I'll find out if Martin is free to go through that with you this afternoon. I was just trying to figure out how much this project will cost. I think it's going to come in under budget. Oh, great. It looks like you've really hit the ground running. Oh, well, I won't keep you any longer. Carry on with what you were doing. You can finish up in about an hour and I'll send Martin over to help you. Now, I snuck in another useful phrase you might need to know for work. Did you spot it? It was to come in under budget. A budget is the amount of money set aside to complete a task. We use the phrasal verb come in with the word budget to show how much we think something is going to cost. So if something comes in on budget, it will cost the right amount of money. If something is under budget, it will cost less than you thought. And if it is over budget, it will cost more than you thought. Now for some speaking practice. Try to use some of the new idioms or phrasal verbs. I've got 3 sets of questions. Choose one set to answer. Write them down so you will remember. Number 1. Talk about a time when you or a family member had to settle in somewhere new. Did anyone or anything help to make this time easier? How did they help? Number 2. Can you think of a time when you were thrown in the deep end? How did you feel? How did you cope in this situation? Or did you just give up? Number 3. Have you ever had to brush up on a skill? Did you pick it up quickly, or was it a slow process? You can write about your experiences in the comments section. I would love to read about your life and experiences. But make sure you also speak it out wherever you are. Perhaps you could record yourself. It might help if I answer one of the questions myself. Number 2, can you think of a time when you were thrown in the deep end? In my first teaching job, I was newly qualified and started working in a language school in Malta. I was given a class of 12 English learners and thrown in the deep end. How did I feel? Absolutely terrified. How did I cope in this situation? Well, actually, it was with the help of some other lovely, kind teachers who showed me the ropes and shared their experiences, which helped me to settle in to my new job. I was very grateful. Okay, there's mine. Now it's your turn. I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. Remember to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Why not check out this video? See you again soon. Bye.